Shalom, shalom, everybody. It's your brother Yaakov with Drew. Know how it go. Here to talk to you this week. Subject we're going to talk about is leave y'all's people alone. People going to learn. Sooner or later, they must learn. Some people learn the easy way. Some people got to learn the hard way. Let's get into these scriptures. Proverbs 26:27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Amplified Bible. Whoever digs a pit for another man's feet will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone up a hill to do mischief, it will come back on him. New Living Translation. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. Proverbs 28:10. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in possession. New Living Translation. Those who lead good people along an evil path will fall into their own trap, but the honest will inherit good things. God's Words Translation. Whoever leads decent people into evil will fall into his own pit, but innocent people will inherit good things. Contemporary English Version. By leading good people to sin, you dig a pit for yourself, but all who live right will have a bright future. Psalms 35:8. Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he have hid catch himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. This is King David praying. People always say, oh, you're supposed to wish people the best. Never supposed to wish ill on nobody, no matter what they do to you. Somebody tell King David that. And the Bible said that King David was a man after the Most High's own heart. So, go figure. Verse 9. And my soul shall be joyful in YAH. It shall rejoice in his salvation. New Living Translation. So let sudden ruin come upon them. Let them be caught in the trap they set for me. Let them be destroyed in the pit they dug for me. Then I will rejoice in YAH. I will be glad because he rescues me. Psalm 141:10. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, while that I withal escape. Amplified Bible. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, while I pass by and safely escape from danger. Psalm 7:15-16. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. It's like the top of your head. I looked it up before. Good News Translation. But in the trap they set for others, they themselves get caught. So they are punished by their own evil and are hurt by their own violence. God's Words Translation. He digs a pit and shovels it out. Then he falls into the hole that he made for others. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 27:27. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. Common English Bible. Whoever digs a hole will fall into it, and whoever sets a trap will get caught in it. Evil will roll back upon those who practice evil, and they will never know where it came from. Mocking and blaming belong to the arrogant, and vengeance like a lion will lie in wait for them. Those who rejoice when godly people fall will get caught in a trap, and pain will consume them before their death. Wrath and anger, these also are detestable, and they will possess the sinful person. Book of Esther, chapter 7, verses 7-10. This is about Haman. Haman I'm probably gonna put a link to a video in the comment section where you can see the whole story of Haman and Mordecai. Haman plotted evil for Mordecai, and he even built gallows that Malachi could be hanged on. And the way that the Most High had it flipped around, he got hung on the same gallows that he invented and had made to hang Mordecai, who was a righteous man. And this is the story, the end of the story. Esther. Matter of fact, just read the whole book of Esther. That might be some good read for everybody. This is Esther 7, verses 7 through 10. Haman is hanged. And the king, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther the queen, for he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the palace of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed where Esther was. Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good of the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows where he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified. Amplified Bible. Haman is hanged. Then in his fury the king stood up from drinking wine, and went into the palace garden to decide what he should do. But Haman stayed to plead his life from Queen Esther, for he saw that harm had been determined against him by the king. When the king returned from the palace garden to the place where they were drinking wine, Haman was fallen on the couch where Esther was. Then the king said, will he even attempt to assault the queen with me in the palace? As the king spoke those words, the servants covered Haman's face in preparation for execution. Then Harbona, one of the eunuchs serving the king, said, now look, there are gallows 50 cubits, which means 75 feet high, standing at Haman's house, which Haman made for Mordecai, whose good warning saved the king. And the king said, hang him on it. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then the king's anger subsided. So basically the moral of this story, going right back to the first verse that we read. Keep it real short and simple for everybody. Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. New Living Translation. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. So with that being said, be mindful how you treat people. Like that meme said, you never know somebody's rank in the spirit. You can see who they are walking the face of the earth, but like it says in the New Testament, many have entertained angels unaware. So you never know who you meeting and who you treating a certain kind of way. So let's just be careful how we treat each other. And that being said, shalom, shalom, much love. Prayerfully we see each other again real soon. I'm out.